Hey, Zero. I am doing well, and I'm not going anywhere this time. I hope. Color balance is still a little off, but at least this is better than it was the other day. How you doing, Zero? Hope you are having a good day and gearing up for this Friday. Dude, that sucked. That really, like, put a... Dude. The kiddo loves it. The kiddo saw me wearing a unicorn shirt and was like, I'm gonna wear one! Oh, it was fantastic. Another streamer? Awesome! Who are they? We'll shout them out. Or at least say hello. Unless it's Amaze or Gamer. Because they're good people. Let's start working on this. Yeah, like 15 minutes. So we're pretty much going to do nudie, which are like gnocchi, but ricotta and spinach based. Stop touching the wood. I would like... You know what? I'm just not finishing that sentence. I'm just letting it be. We're not talking about that. Nothing about what I would or would not do. Ain't falling for that trick. Alright, so I've got some frozen spinach over here that we need to kind of like squeeze dry. So I'm going to do a double layer of paper towels to dry that a bit. And we're going to do the same with our ricotta. We're going to do kind of a double batch because we're like increase the amounts by 50% because the shit's delicious. So this is spinach. You know what? I should probably have squeezed it dry first, shouldn't I? Crap. All right, I'm going to pop a bunch of this back out. Squeeze it as best I can, like in the container. Hello, hello, he's here. Ooh. Dude, I am awesome. Dude, nudie are so damn good. Nudie are an Italian, like dumpling, but again, with ricotta and spinach instead of potato. So think of gnocchi, but nudie, and the whole idea of nudie means like nude, little, you know, no shell, as opposed to like ravioli. So I've got a bunch of spinach. We're gonna, again, I've squeezed dry. We're gonna kind of lay it on out. Again, this is defrosted. We're using frozen spinach because it's easy. You know, it's inexpensive. It's frozen. Yeah, so I'm an American mutt. You know, I've got some, you know, Northern German, some Irish, some Luxembourg, Austrian, but my family has lived in the U.S., my families, I should say, since the 1800s. So for me, there's very little old country, quote unquote, left. Everything was just, everything has just been Americanized. And hello, who just followed that? Hey, again, NJ Orver. Again, are you hanging out with Zero? That's awesome. We are good. I think I said that when you first hopped in, but want to make sure I can say hello. Howdy. So we're going to let this spinach dry. And we're also going to drain our ricotta the same way. We're doing a triple layer for the ricotta though, because it is a little drier by default. And we want to make sure we get all that delicious, we want to maximize the cheese component. We'll get a smash. So there is some moisture in there. Again, the whole idea is spread out as much of this as we can to just get every bit of moisture out, because that's going to prevent it from binding as easily. But they're still going to be super light tasting because it's cheese and flour and it's cheese, flour, and spinach. Like, that's all these little things are, and they are so damn good. All right, that looks good to me. So I'm going to move this back to drain, and while that's draining, we're going to start our bread. So exclamation point recipe 2 is our bread recipe today. Also, everybody, cheers, friends. That's good. I'm going to have the bread machine in a different room because it is a little loud. Not terribly loud, just a little bit. Hey, Amber. I dig the work thing. Coldy, sounds good, my friend. Hop on, lurk, whatever works by you. We'll rock and roll and get some finished photos. Amber is the best. You are the best. How you doing today, Amber? Exclamation point recipe and then the number. So here, exclamation point menu is what I'm doing. So the sandwich bread is like an exclamation point recipe 2. And that's the sandwich bread that I'm doing. So I'm even going to click it right here because I got another computer right here. And so again, this is a bread machine bread. You might be like, oh, you're doing bread machine bread. Yeah, because bread machines are awesome. Bread machines aren't great at baking bread, but they are fantastic at kneading bread and at combining the ingredients, which is kind of the part that sucks sometimes, so it's nice. Amber, I'm in a good mood. Had a bunch of long-ass meetings today that definitely had me, like, dragging. Yesterday, I was kind of in a poo-poo mood. Just, end of the day, just was feeling, like, run down. But I had a really good night last night seeing some friends from my local homebrew club. And then the meeting that an hour and a half meeting I wasn't looking forward to today, ended up being really positive with, like, I think there's some positive change can come out of it. So it's like, you know what? Like, F the haters, I don't care. Let's have fun. B, let's try to address these concerns and find some resolutions. It also worked out very well because Mittens had karate last night, but I had my event to go to. So there's a little back and forth if I would watch the kiddo or Mittens would, and Mittens said, like, I'll bring the kiddo to karate. And kiddo loved it. Kiddo wanted to see mama's karate and, like, played on the phone or, like, watched a science show, which I love, and was, like, super good about it, like, super well behaved. Yeah, so it's like the kiddo was in a great mood, so Mittens and I love that. And then this morning, kiddo woke up and just wanted to paint. So kiddo painted like a little unicorn model that they've had. And like, I love that. I love the fact that the kiddo just wanted to paint and put something together and be creative. Not just be a TV zombie, but like do something and ask for more time to paint. It's tough because as a father, like, I want to get her out the door, I want to get us to school, but I also want to say, like, it's just daycare. 10 minutes isn't going to matter. Yeah, kid, you can keep on painting. I'm okay with that. So actually, so kiddo is 5. So, you know, all things, but it's like, this is what they made. You know, this is what they painted. So, you know, 5-year-old, but doing a decent job of choosing what parts they wanted to work on. It's like, good job, kid. Like, I appreciate the fact that they took the time and they wanted to keep painting. It's just a very fun feeling of like, all right, little one, like, yeah, it's just daycare. Like, keep going. Rainbow unicorn, exactly. And that they did, A, they did a damn good job. B, they had fun. That's all I want. Like, that's all the that's the success I want for my kids. Even Amber, see the shirt? Again, kiddo's happy, they're good. No, everything else kind of like just falls into place after that. In a good way. Like, I'm happy about that. Let's get like let's get like a half teaspoon of yeast, because that's a pretty good, well-fermented bit of a starter we're throwing in. Bork, bork, bork! Hey, Fitty! How are you doing? Yes, you. Also, can I just say to all of you, thank you for joining me. Like, this is exactly what I was hoping for, to like pop up at the end of the day and have a bunch of people pop in, just talk and say, hey, like, this is awesome. Awesome. All right, so we need 37 grams of dry milk. I should probably tear it first. 50 cents. Again, was definitely feeling down, was feeling a little, you know, it's a little lethargic earlier, but just feeling good now, seeing friends, cooking for the family. You know, it doesn't get much better than that. I think I mentioned, like, I stream for company. So having someone, like, this is just like having someone in the room next to me while I cook and just chatting. It's fantastic. Nice, dude. What did you, again, you were cooking lunch, I gather. What was on your menu? 21 grams of honey. Whew. Oh, cool. Amber, that's awesome. So I did Blue Apron a couple of years ago, and I liked it. But then again, we got like 2 bad batches of it. It was years ago. I'm not saying it's like that now, but Mittens and I have even talked about like redoing it, especially to provide easier recipes for the kiddo to follow. Because a lot of my recipes tend to be a little more involved, and we both love having the kiddo in, like, part of dinner, part of what we're making. Again, I want to get the name right. Najorv? No, NJ Ovir? Najorvir? Najorvir? Creamy chicken ramen sounds fantastic. 100%. We're just Jorvir. Norvir. The J sounds like a Y. So I'll say like Njovir. Njovir. Gotta work with me. Njovir. Awesome. Awesome. I'm about as gringo as they come, but I love languages. I love culture. I love what people do, what's going on, what like drove a lot of stuff, and getting names right, even if it's not the way that I would pronounce it. Otherwise, by reading it, I love that help of what needs to be done. Amber, I 100% get that. So actually, what Mittens and I do is on the weekend, I'll put up a list of everything we're cooking that week, and then I'll put down like 5 or 6 suggestions for next week also. And Mittens will kind of pick and choose if there's something that I put down that they're jonesing for, and they like circle it or put it down. It's like, we are doing that. Otherwise, it's whatever available. Like I know next week I'll be doing, actually, I can even write it down now. We still need, let me microwave the butter. Next week, I know on Friday, we'll be doing venison stew. And the kiddo requested on Wednesday swordfish. We were at the store, so I go shopping with the kiddo. And they was like, Dad, what's the swordfish taste like? I'm like, you want to get it and eat it? Yeah! So we're having swordfish. I think we'll do swordfish on Wednesday. I'll find something that'll cook with that. Mondays are always meatball Mondays. So already, we got a couple things of what we're going to be eating next week. It's just like written down. Amber, yes, this is going to be a honey sourdough. So I have my sourdough starter that is older than my daughter. And so a little bit of honey really helps to kind of boost it up. We have about 2 tablespoons of butter. We have some dried milk, because again, I'm making sandwich bread. So I do need to have it a little bit softer than like a nice crusty sourdough loaf, but I want to use the starter I have. This is a great way to do it. This away, we need some salt, 12 grams of salt, and then bread flour. And I buy bread flour by the 50-pound sack. Because if it's not bread flour or bread that I'm making pizza. I love making pizza. Pizza's delicious. So let's do 12 grams. You know, let's do the salt last. I like doing the salt on top of the bread flour just so it incorporates evenly. We want about 480 grams of, yeah, we do, so I have this guy of bread flour upstairs. I also have a 20-pound tote of bread flour upstairs. And then in the basement, I have a 30-pound tote. So between all that, I can open up a bag of bread flour and utilize it. But it's also just like, if you buy it at that scale, it's like less than 50 cents a pound for super high quality flour. And like, not only am I supporting a business I enjoy, King Arthur, but I'm also getting it at a price I can't beat otherwise. And with the amount of flour I go through, makes perfect sense. So I want this to be 97. Little high, a little more than I wanted to go, but not by much. So I'll just get a little something out and we'll count that. Okay, I'm going to get the bread machine and I am going to put it in the other room because otherwise it's going to be on as it's mixing up. But I love using the bread machine to mix the dough, to knead it together for me, and then I just pop it out when I'm done, put it into a greased loaf pan and just put it in the fridge. And then bake it in a loaf pan. All the hard work was already done. And Amber, price control. I've been doing this since the kiddo was born, is buying flour in this amount. The price of flour at bulk has gone up like $2. But individual, it's gone up like, so $2, let's see, that would be, I'm talking 20, I'm talking like an 8% rise in price over the past 5 years. If I buy the same flour at the store, it's gone up like 20% in price. So it's, even with inflation adjusted, it's still cheaper. Or it's even more cheaper. It's better to buy in bulk if you make a lot of bread. And this ends up being like $1's worth of ingredients, maybe $1.20 worth of ingredients for banging loaf of sandwich bread, sourdough sandwich bread that would cost you $4 at the store. And you know what, I'll actually start the, because I'm gonna, not that I've done that beer, but I'm close, and I want to get some brown ale from the basement. Again, another thing I made. So I'm gonna turn this on and pop it here so you guys can see how it gets kneaded for the first couple minutes while I refresh my beverage. Probably don't save money on beer, but you know, I like making it. I like making stuff myself. So we're gonna turn it on to like a dough mode. How cool is that? How much fun is that to watch? Let me get a beverage. I'll be back in a minute. But just gaze in the glory that is the bread. Yeah, that's about it. On tap right here. We got some, hey, wiggle, 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 yeah. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, Finny. Look at that little bread baby coming together. That's gonna be delicious. It's gonna be pretty damn good. We may even have time to shake that before dinner time. Let's see, hour and a half from now, so yeah, that might be the last thing we do before we sign off stream today. Wiggle, 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 yeah. Wiggle, 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 yeah. And I've been thinking about doing another loaf of like a hardcore sourdough bowl. Those take a little more time to prep, but I made one recently and those, chef's kiss. But this is most of what you do for this. I'm just looking, transfer switch to bowl with flour mixture. And we're gonna mix, we're gonna add into a sheet pan, into 50 portions. Into a 1-inch ball, and we're doing a butter sauce with a so we're just gonna get stuff ready. This is gonna be nice and easy. So let's, I'm gonna turn this off. We're gonna unplug it. And we'll start prepping stuff. We'll probably have time. Amber, it is surprisingly easy. Now, that comes with caveats. It does take, wait till I'm back. I don't want to be shouting you. Okay, so that's put away. It's not that hard to make sourdough. a sourdough starter. It does take time and it does take feeding, but you could be it needs the most attention in the first 2 days. Once you get past that, like you're only gonna take care of it like once a week. Sometimes I don't bother with mine until 3 weeks, but it's a well-established one. So there's a thought that if you start off a starter with, instead of water, using some pineapple juice, the acidity in the pineapple juice helps to select for the yeast you want for the sourdough. But once you get it started again, once you're in like 2 to 3 days in, you're good. There's not much more you got to do that. So I'd say like make your own with whatever good quality local flour you have. I do think flour is one of those, either buying a high quality national brand like King Arthur, or find out if there's a local mill near you and pay the extra buck for high quality flour. Bread is mostly flour, so why not get the good stuff? So, all right, let's get going. We are going to start making our base mixture for the nudie. We are doing a little bit more than a standard batch, so all the recipe ingredients, the amounts, I'm doing a 1.5 times. So it's going to take me a minute to translate some things. So this will be a fun exercise in quick math. So we want 3/4 of a cup of AP flour. So it does say AP and not bread, so I still do keep a little bit of bread AP flour around, mostly because, not everything needs bread flour, not everything needs that level of gluten. Amber, look into it. I followed, again, pineapple juice sourdough starter. It was so easy. It really, really was. And I'm not using the original starter that I started out with, before my kid was born, but I gave someone my starter. My starter died because it froze, but they still had it. So I have like a generation removed. I still count it as the same. Hey, Thick! How are you doing, my dear? You still home, Thick? But yeah, it's sourdough starter. So Thick, we just made a bread, mixed up a bread, and it's right now mixing in our bread machine, and that's off to the side. And now we're going to be putting together nudie, which are like little Italian ricotta dumplings. So let's see, we want to have flour, Parmesan, panko, salt, pepper, and lemon zest. So we want 1 ounce of Parmesan cheese, 1 tablespoon of panko. So let's see what the panko should be right here, or it's in the basement. The panko is in the basement. I repeat, the panko. Oh, is it back here? Ha-ha! Panko! And a nice little right up Sunshine's alley. Alrighty. Amber, both of you, just rock with whatever works. So 1.5 tablespoons. Also, I'm enjoying the music. I'm glad I stopped with the music for a little while because it wasn't like syncing properly. And I put it back in, like, yeah, I like having a little bit of something. A little bit of, I think it adds more than it takes away. We want 3/4 of a teaspoon of table salt. So we're just gonna do 1 teaspoon of table salt. We want the zest of 1 lemon. And we're going to want a teaspoon of pepper. We'll throw some pepper in. And then we want Parmesan cheese. So we're going to want a crap ton of Parmesan. Thick, I agree. In particular, Thick, you make an excellent point. It helps fill in that silence. And while I don't mind just talking all damn day, as y'all have noticed, it helps round things out. And it also, I think, helps me just kind of flow. Like I'm more okay with just rocking along. But I 100% Thick, and I think that's a very valid point. One lemon. You know what? I might have some lemon in the fridge. Diced. That's a lime. Lime. So first of all, we're going to combine these two limes together, as long as neither one's rotten. I think these should be fresh. The adventures of what the heck is in my fridge. Yeah, both fresh limes, so I wish I had known about that. I wouldn't have used one of them. I guess I used up all the lemon. Alright, so we'll pop one open. Not a big deal. Ooh, found him! I also just, I like preventing waste. I don't like wasting food. That said, if food has gone bad, I just let it go bad. Like, you toss that. It's not worth saving. But otherwise, I love having a fridge full of, like, odds and ends of, like, soups and stocks and, like, other flavor bits that can be used. And if we get to use this lemon, awesome. If we don't, well, I'm still using it right now. The recipe doesn't call for it. God, son of a bee. This is probably why you don't use already sliced lemons. Ugh. Well, you know what? We're just going to toss these when we're done. You know what? I'm not making anything with lemon in the next couple days. I'll just use what I have. The fact that I'm using them right now, I'm happy. I used something that I might have tossed otherwise. Now we need about 1.5 ounces of Parmesan. And that's actually a pretty good amount. Yes, Thick, you're exactly right. The white part is the bitter part, the rind, the pith, it's called. So that's why when you're grating lemon zest, you only want to get the outside, whatever, any citrus, you avoid the pith. Oh, I've got 2 drinks. I got to decide. I got to finish up this one. Okay, I was just about done with this anyway, so. And normally I save the rinds. I've got like 5 rinds in the freezer right now for soups and stews. I'm gonna start using them more now that the weather is colder, but I don't do as many soups and stews in the summertime. That's enough cheese to start. And if we need more, we add more. Because again, we are grinding it very finely, so that like that's probably about an ounce. Probably need a little more in all honesty, just of how well it gets ground. Yeah, Amber. What was? Oh, I saw the photos of the hail that you sent on Discord. That looked good. Oh, I say awesome because I love storms, but I can see that being a little intense. Anything get damaged? And actually, Thick, have you had any crazy storms in your neck of the woods? Add egg whites to bowl and mix gently. So we want 3 egg whites. So we're gonna do that now. Legit out of nowhere. Nothing got damaged. That's awesome. That's good. This is just such a good day, good end to the day, everybody. Being able to stream, being able to cook for the family, like, and being done with work and being done with the week and just be like, all right, I'm gonna have a drink or two, gonna cook some good food. This recipe does not need a whole lot of time. There's some waiting for draining, but that's pretty much already done. So there's a little bit of like, let's just rock. It's a good thing. It puts you in a good, it sets you up for success. And I'm gonna need success because I'm planning on doing a 6-mile trail run in the woods with one of my buddies tomorrow. Which I don't think I'm ready for, but I'm, you know what, I'll run with a friend. I mean, what do I care? Ah, Thick, that weather sounds awesome. I know you had a brutal summer, so I'm not saying it's all good, but that sounds pretty darn nice right about now. Yeah, again, my buddy went to college in my city. We grew up together, like, so we went to different schools in the same city. And his parents now live in Philadelphia. And so he's visiting for the weekend, and they're doing the trail run again, like a 5 or 6 mile trail runs. Him, his dad, and his brother. And his dad and his mom are in amazing shape, better shape than I am. So I'm like, oh boy, do you want to run with me? And his brother became like a cross-country guy. So I'm like, I'm probably going to be the worst in shape out of this group, but I'm hoping to do a half marathon in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So I'm like, you know what? Let me give it a go. Let me see what I can do. Hey, laughter. Oh, Thick, that's awesome weather-wise. Laughter, how are you doing, my friend? We are making our Italian gnudi, G-N-U-D-I. So again, we want 3 egg whites. We're doing these one at a time, so if we break one, we minimize contamination. The trash is stinky. Gucci. No, nudie. G-N-U-D-I. I've got my beer just off camera. I'll grab a sip of that as soon as I finish working with these eggs. Yeah. All right. Wipe that on up. I will get the food processor out in a second to blitz down our spinach. I actually got to get the big boy. I'll probably use the big boy to mix this all up also. It calls for like tossing it, but I think we're going to want to be a little more aggressive than that. Yes, thick. So we're going to save the yolks. If Mittens doesn't, we're going to use them within 2 days. So if Mittens doesn't have them for tomorrow's breakfast or lunch, I'll use them by Sunday. Like maybe I'll make an omelet, a super rich omelet. I don't have a recipe in mind that's yolk heavy, but as long as all you're putting it into clean containers, you've got a couple days of use out of anything. Laughter, I was about to drink this and I was like, ah, wrong thing. I could make some mayo, Laughter. That's a good point. I haven't made mayo in a while. And I've got some chipotles I was thinking about making into like a sauce. So I could do some homemade mayo. Laughter, you've got a good idea. We're actually going to one of the kiddos' peers' houses for dinner tomorrow. And I was in contact with the father and the wife, the mother, to figure out like what do we want to eat, because I love cooking, obviously. So that could be like make some kind of mayo tomorrow during the day. That could be fun. Yeah, that's a great idea. Laughter. Awesome. Laughter. 10 points for Gryffindor. Oh, nice. I've done Kenji Lopez Alts mayonnaise before, and it's always been great. It takes some time to get right, don't get me wrong. And I've made it, I've failed a couple times, do not get me wrong. I've had several mayo failures. But I've definitely gotten the process down better. Also, awesome that you have chickens. Good friend of ours has chickens, and I'd love to have some. Mittens hates birds. Mittens hates anything that flies. Birds, bugs, butterflies. Butterflies, Mittens does not like. I swear. I don't get it. You know what, Laughter? If I've got time today, I'll make mayo. Because I've got mustard, I've got the immersion blender right there, we've got the oil. If I have time, I will make mayo on stream. No, mayo is not hard to make. The kicker is like preventing it from breaking is really what it is. So it's like, Thick, if you've got something that works for you, A, feel free to share it, and B, awesome. Like, it's your success is my success. All right, let's get the food processor down. It's so hot. I actually need to get the stool to get this down. Thing's so high up. Do eat. I don't know if I'll do cows, because cows are pretty freaking big. Yeah, and Thick, that's a blender, stick blender, whatever. Like, one of those helps. I'd like to do pygmy goats. Not full size, because I think that's a little too big, a little too much work, but like, pygmy goats, especially for milk, that sounds awesome. That sounds so cool. All right, so here's all our spinach. That's me saying spinach really weird. But it's been dried, so again, now we're going to give this little wipey wipe, and we'll make the nudie on this board. Well, if I've got time, I'll make it. Goal is to have, you know, food ready for the fam in an hour and a half. So as everything else is done, yeah, we're making that shit. All right, so let's. I'm gonna mute because this thing it's a great cheap little blender. It is so fucking loud. So we're gonna mute real quick. All right, let's see how that looks. Not bad. I think probably a little more. I might see. I don't want to put the egg whites in and over whip them, but I think we need a little something else to really help this blend, because it's unfortunately the Wegmans. This is where I got the spinach. The frozen spinach is very stemmy. Trader Joe's has awesome spinach with like no stems at all. The stems will help bind it a bit. Don't get me wrong, but you know, the TJ stuff is better, is what it comes down to. Ooh, and Thick, thank you very much for sending that link. Let's take a look. Downshiftology. Yeah, pretty similar to what I do. I usually use more, cider vinegar and heavy Dijon mustard. But yeah, pretty much the same idea. Stick blender. Yep, that's pretty darn close. I think that's awesome. Thank you so much. You gotta go slow with it though. All right, let's give this another mix or two. That's good enough. So we have in here, we've got our flour, we've got a crap ton of cheese, we've got our salt. So I'm actually going to spend a minute just mixing this. Yeah, I'll say that looks like it would be like a 16-ounce mason jar. Awesome. So next up is going to be the spinach. I also just realized I'm not wearing an apron. So there's going to be a lot of flour on this. By the time that we're done, son of a bee. I might just grab my apron just because we are working with flour now. As I said, like if we get everything else done, we are making mayo today. All right, apron. We're gonna hide the data corn, but we got cooking to do. Transfer the spinach. We're gonna add our ricotta. We're gonna mix. Then we'll add our egg whites and mix. So let's get our ricotta ready. It asks you to do like 3 folds or something, but frankly, you know, this is kind of fun. let's get this out of the way. Let's get this out of the way. We'll flip this on its side again. Hey, Dr. T! Dr. T, you want me to make you some nudie? All right, nerd. How you doing, buddy? Dude, solid hopping in for a bit. We've got our flour mixture. So that's flour, salt, pepper, lemon zest, and Parmesan. And obviously now spinach. We are getting our ricotta ready. So we drained the ricotta. Actually, it got a lot of moisture. And that's going to help it bind up better because we got rid of a lot of the moisture. Look at that, just done. Move this into the sink. We'll give it a first. I need that spoon back. Send the nudies. I'll send you some nudies. that goes against the Twitch TOS. I can't deal with a 3-day ban. No, we're just gonna use our hands. I'm gonna make sure my hands are clean and give them one extra wash, and then I'm gonna have some beer first. Because I'll just be taking off my shirt, but it just looks like a sweater anyway, so. Get past Twitch's bots. Once I hit the 5K viewers, then I'm in trouble. I guess I gotta launch my my OnlyFans at the same time. Or it'll be about cooking, like NSFW cooking. So I'll call it like OnlyPans. Be good, Thick. Thank you for hopping in for a bit. Always take care of yourself, my friend. Oh, this smells so good. That little bit of lemon, only forks. Mmm. What do you got on spoons? This smells so freaking good. That little bit of lemon adds so much to this. Hey, Amaze! Only sporks. Amaze, you know what? You're worth it, Amaze. Let me take a second. Only Foons. Amaze puts out some very fun content. A lot of YouTube streams on occasion. But you know what? He's just a damn good human being. And we love respecting that shit here. Alright, so this is really well combined. I done mixed it good. So we're gonna like put it into like 1 tablespoon measures and put it off to the side. We're done like that. This part of it. So let me wash my hands. Of course, my Amaze. Alright, that's good. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna shape about all of these. So it's gonna be about 50 or so. Then we're gonna make our sauce. So we're gonna have our sauce to the side, and then when Mittens and the kiddo get home, we'll tell them 20 minutes till dinner. Let's get the table set and we'll start boiling these and then we'll serve. Did that in the middle of prepping? So yeah, we want about 1 cup now. measure. This guy, I think this is the 1 tablespoon measure. Yep, 1 tablespoon. So it's about a 1-inch ball. So again, we're gonna do this in 2 steps. I'm gonna dish out like 1 at a time, and then I'm gonna re-roll them after the fact. So quick, like, you know, pop on here. This part's, you know, super, super thrilling. Excitement, adventure, a disher. Toss a coin to your disher, oh valley of plenty. Yeah, I'll just do an extra one over there. I might be making these a little bigger than the recipe calls for, but as I said, they are going to squish down a little bit. Calls for 1 inch across. That's an inch. And if I need 2 trays, I need 2 trays. Hey, Pickle! Amaze, I've been pretty good, my man. I think I said, like, yesterday I was definitely dragging. I was feeling drained, but, like, I walked to a homebrew meeting, and I don't know about you, but, like, walking always does good for me. It re-energizes me. It gets me, like, ready to do stuff. Lets my mind wander in a good way. So, like, I got to the meeting, I had a great time with good friends, had a couple beers, just was able to talk and, you know, hang out, had a good night's sleep, and then, like, woke up and, you know, had some meetings today, some of which kind of were crap. They were work meetings. Others are like, hey, I think this has a real chance of, like, progress on stuff. So I'm just like, I'm doing good. I'm doing good right now. Amber, these turn out like gnocchi, but because they're not potato-based, they end up much lighter. So it's like they're a dumpling, like a pseudo dumpling, and you can serve them. But because they're so light, even lighter than gnocchi, like I'll be serving these with like a brown butter and cherry tomato sauce. So super light, super refreshing, but not like. They're very satisfying. Don't take light as, oh, I'll be hungry in 10 minutes. Like, no, these are very satisfying. Squats, Amaze, you son of a... Just remember this, Amaze. You changed the point value of your own push-ups because you couldn't handle it. So I'm going to tuck that up, going to give it a little shimmy. I think I got 10. Gotta, right for it. Let's do it, bang it. Bam! Work that. I dropped it. I just dropped it all the way down. Hit them squats since you like walking. Oh, yeah. I'm not wearing boat shoes right now. I am wearing my bunny slippers. And not because they, like, there's bunny ears, like they're made out of rabbit. And they are so comfy. Alrighty, Look at all these things that we made, guys. Look at that's awesome. I'm gonna wash my hands again. And we're gonna give them a quick little roll just to kind of firm them up. Then let's get the sauce made. We are getting lost in the sauce. And yes, Dr. T, you can make me squat. That just sounds dirty. Squats, recipe ideas, formulations. It's mostly just fun stuff. You live to see them mocks. I'll show you my mock. If you show me yours, I'll show you mine. See, again, right now we're just kind of firming these up. We're just giving a little patty pat, getting them shaped. So I also think on the food, like redemption, Pickle, you requested bibimbap recently, and I think I'm going to do that next week or the week after. Thick requested elotes, and I did esquites, so it's kind of fulfilled, but not 100%. So, but again, we're unfortunately out of corn season. I did do jambalaya, or I did gumbo. But I think, you know, if anyone else has the points and wants to drop down, you know, pop in a food request, I think I have the bandwidth right now for another one. I was thinking about doing like an esquites dip. So actually like doing like roasted corn dip with like a sour cream base or something, and like bringing that to a party. I was thinking that would be pretty darn cool. I gotta wash my hands because it's starting to stick too much. All right, hands wet, beer. You're 1.7 away from another request. Hey, you might hit that today. 50-50, either today or the next stream. Within a week for certain. I like it's Pickle. You spend your points on, you know, food and enlightenment and betterment of all of us. Amaze is dropping the points to see me drop it. Also, by the way, Pickle, how are you feeling? Again, I know we're about like a week out. No, we're like 3 weeks. 3 weeks since your surgery. You feeling okay, buddy? Like all's working the way you expect? Getting back into things? We are just about done shaping my bowels. And the music stopped. I gotta see what's up. So let me wash my hands. Probably gonna put these into the fridge just so they firm up a little bit. And then we'll start making our sauce, or at least the base of our sauce. Then get some water boiling for the nudies so it's ready when Mittens gets home. And go from there. A month. Oh, dude, awesome. Pickle, that's fantastic. I mean, not the hurting part, but like the forward progress and healing and doing stuff. Like, go Pickle. Bow, 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 bow. let me see if I can fit these in the fridge. And we can... Ah, crap. All right, we're moving stuff around. Hey, now we... close enough. Close enough. All right, let's look at this sauce. Melt butter in a small saucepan, add garlic and cook. Off heat, add tomatoes and vinegar, cover and set aside. And then we get it up to heat. Divide sauce in 4 bowls. We're doing more than that. All right, so this is awesome. We can do the sauce and then just like add the tomatoes, turn off the heat, and just put it aside. So we're using a good size. Pickle, you be good, my friend. Cheers to the pickliest of pickles. All right, let's get going on that. Cast iron is going into the... Ooh, forgot about that from last night. Oopsies. I was wondering where my third sheet pan was. I made butter chicken for dinner last night, and it was delicious. But I was like under the gun getting it out, like getting it to the family. Forgot to clean the sheet pan. Not a big deal. All right, so this big honkin', I'm pointing at if you know what I'm talking about. Here, get over here. This guy will be for our nudie. I like that because it's a big hot pan and it can retain a lot of heat. We're gonna fill this up, then we're gonna get that to a boil, and that will sit. Again, I'm gonna fill this guy up with water, get it to a boil, and we get some butter out. And tomatoes. And we should have some leftovers, which are great because these are so darn good. And because there's so little flour, they're also super tender. And they freeze well, or they fridge well. Gnocchi freeze well. These fridge well and are delicious the next day. My kind of rule of thumb for a lot of foods is if I catch Mittens snacking on it cold straight out of the fridge, I did a good job with whatever the heck it is. All right, so let's see for the sauce. We want 4 tablespoons of butter, 3 garlic cloves sliced thin, cherry or grape tomatoes halved, cider vinegar, salt, pepper, and some basil. We're skipping the basil because it's a little outside the season. We don't need it. Maybe we'll throw in some parsley. I got some parsley across the street. Amber, that's my way of doing it. If Mittens is like, if I like come in to the kitchen after like playing with the kiddo in the front of the house, and Mittens is like sitting down over here with like a tub, sitting with like a tub of food, looking at like watching like, I'm like, all right, like whatever the heck I made, it's tasty. I did okay. But that is and it's like, come on. I'm like, no, that's awesome. The fact that like that's my indicator that I did a darn good job. So, we aren't going to make a huge amount of sauce. Actually, 1, 2, 3, we'll make a little extra sauce. It's let's face it, this sauce is mostly just butter and tomatoes. Like, that's awesome. If a sauce is butter and tomatoes, sign me the fuck up. Let's get, let's say 5 cloves of garlic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oof, that's stinky trash. That needs to go out today, frankly. Let's get a larger bowl, because we're doing a larger volume. And I'm going to prep this up before we start melting the butter. I'll get the butter in the pot. So this is about 4 tablespoons. And we'll throw another, let's say, 2 tablespoons for good measure. Put that off to the side. We want our garlic and we want our tomato. So we want 12 ounces of tomatoes. This is not useful. I have no clue how much that is. So let's get our measuring cup out. Let's get a scale. We want 12 to 16. Let's go 16 ounces. Maybe even like 20 ounces. All right, we're gonna need a bigger boat. All right, so we want 16 at minimum. Here's 16 and change. You know what? Screw it. Let's do all of them. Screw it. All the tomatoes. This is the sauce. You put as much or as little as you want on it. So we're doing all the tomatoes. And if we need more butter, we're going to add more butter. We have lost the tomato. All of the things. Also, Amber, tomatoes are delicious. Butter is delicious. I don't think we need more than that. Like, those are two delicious things. I am going to sharpen this. You know what? Because we're doing so many tomatoes, we're going to clean this knife and then get the business. You heard me, the business. So this gets put away, and we're bringing out the chef's knife. Oh, hey, gamer! How's it going, my friend? Gamer, I saw Nate over the weekend. He said you guys actually live like surprisingly close to each other now. That's kind of cool. And for those that don't know, this is Gamer's hat. Gamer left it at my house a month or two ago. So yeah, so we're bringing out this, you know what? Quickly, cheers. Rinse. And new beer, then back to slicing. Gamer. Well, I hope you're doing better, my man. Gamer, do you think you are going to make it to the Oktoberfest party? Or questionable? And that's an okay answer, because you're far the hell away. We're doing some prep work and planning. Oh, this knife just slides through tomatoes. Like, this is, like, arguably the nicest knife I own, with that big-ass cleaver being the second nicest. But the cleaver is definitely better for, like, bulk vegetables and, like, moving stuff around. This just, like, cuts. All right, fair enough, my man. That's a good reason. You will be missed. evidently, Freddy is coming to the MLBA Oktoberfest. I mean, he's walking distance, so he better, but it'll be cool to see Freddy for the first time in a while. But Gamer, understood, my man. You've got stuff going on, and I hope that goes well for both of you. Okay. So again, we're just right now we're just in chopping the tomatoes mode. And this is one of those cases where a sharp knife is the safest. I mean, a sharp knife is always going to be safe. But especially for like small tomatoes where the flesh can be a little bit thin, having a super sharp knife that just bites in makes this so easy. It's cathartic to just like spend the time just like slice, slice, slice. It's so pleasant. All right, our water just boiled, so it's hot. We'll add it to our Dutch oven momentarily. And again, once we get the main part of this done, if we have time, we are totally making mayo. I might make like a chipotle mayo, thinking about it. Depends on where we are, how close Mittens is, etc., etc., etc. Hey, is that Ching? Yeah, Ching TV! How are you doing? It's been a hot minute. I hope you're doing well. Ching, last night I made a bunch of Indian food, some butter chicken and some curried American squash. It was delicious. And I have a like an American style lo mein like in my back pocket ready to go. And I'm thinking that might be lunch tomorrow. But how are you and how are you doing? So tonight's dinner is, again, an Italian dish, gnudi, G-N-U-D-I. It's like gnocchi, which you may have heard of, another like traditional Italian dish. But instead of potato, like gnocchi is, this uses ricotta, a little bit of flour, and spinach, or some other leafy green. You're great. Awesome! Do you mean that sarcastically, or like you're actually doing pretty damn well? Because I only hope for success for you. We are just about done. Our butter is melting. It's actually kind of nice because I can look at my screen right here to see the status of the melting butter. And it's melting away nicely, but it's not foaming. It's not burning. All right, that's kind of what I look for. Let's see, 45 Mittens will be home with the kiddo in 15 minutes. So we might not get to butter today. Mayo today, but we're not. We may. We're still in a pretty good ship. All right, last 2 more handfuls. All right, all of our tomatoes are cut. Next up, we're going to get our garlic cloves in there. Let me just move these out of the way. I'm going to wipe this down. I'm not going to wash the board per se. We did that earlier, especially after the eggs. I gave it a quick wipe down, wash down. But right now, we just want to make sure this is all clean because I want to prevent slipping. That's what I'm most afraid of right now because we're going to be cooking all this. Let's get this little something. So here's our 5 cloves of garlic. So we want to melt the butter, add the garlic, and then until the butter is very foamy and garlic is pale golden brown, 2-3 minutes. Then we add the tomatoes, we add the vinegar, and turn off the heat. So we got 5 cloves of garlic. We're going to slice it super thin. If you have a mandolin that you like, use it. I've got 2 mandolins and I don't like either of them. So I almost always end up doing this slicing by hand. And frankly, I think I'm quick enough that for like a small amount, like a couple cloves of garlic, I could do it better than solo. Hey, Pickleback and Absolute Schmidt. Hey there. So it's been a hot minute since you've been here, isn't it, Schmidt? How are you today? We got all kinds of friends coming and say hello to you. Oh, awesome. This puts, again, I do this streaming for company while I'd be cooking anyway. So, definitely makes me happy. Let me get this peeled. Again, I think 5 cloves could be enough. I could be convinced that more cloves are necessary, but 5 is a good start. And cheers. All right, let's slice this up thin. Again, so going super thin. Long time ago here on Twitch. Are those days long past? Absolute. So again, we're just slicing this garlic as thin as we can. Again, we could use a mandolin, but again, we're only doing 5 cloves. If someone wants more, we'll throw more in. But I'm not gonna kill myself. Pickle, are you a semi-sour pickle? Oh, it just smells good. But butter and garlic, like, what else do you really need in life than a pile of butter and garlic? Let me wash my hands, and then we're going to get that. Ugh, that's a lot of dishes in the sink. Whatever. It was messy before. I cleaned it all up. So let's get all this garlic up and over. So it's melted, it's a little foamy, but the garlic hasn't started cooking it, which is perfect. Because we can distribute it very well, and it's going to slowly kind of come together as it warms. So we want like 2 to 3 minutes for it to get like golden brown. So now we're going to want 2 teaspoons of cider vinegar, so that's going to be 1 tablespoon of cider vinegar. I've got way too many like sauces and seasonings in here. The cider vinegar is all the way in the back. Like, get out of the way, son of a bitch. So, cider vinegar, tomatoes, tablespoon, and then we might make some mayo. We might have time. Absolutely, you're 100% right. Butter, garlic, salt, and baguette. Happy Pickle, I appreciated that. I liked that. So, how much time do we have on our bread? About 30 minutes left on the bread we're resting. We'll roll it out on here and then pop it into the fridge, and I'll bake it tomorrow morning. But yeah, we got bread going. We got bread going like a sourdough sandwich loaf. Because the kiddo one of the kiddos' favorite foods is sourdough bread in general. That's what they teethed on. Because I was stuck at home. I wasn't stuck at home. I chose to take 3 months off after the kiddo was born. And Mittens did months 0 to 3. I did months 3 to 6. So I had nothing else to do at home. So I did a lot of baking. And sourdough was one of the kiddos' first foods. Yeah, absolutely. I did modify the ads, but Twitch has been pushing the ads and the frequency more heavily. So I've spread them out. So it's not just a minute and a half straight of ads. So ads done, great. Long and short, the kiddos' first foods was sourdough that I was making because I had nothing else to do at home with the kiddo. Not that I had nothing else to do, but it was like January and February. It was too cold to go out for a walk. I was isolated with a new child. I didn't know what I could do, so I was like, I can cook. So that's what the kiddo like munched on and loved was like sourdough rinds in particular. So we're doing a sandwich bread right now. It's not rindy per se, but I'm probably gonna do a full-blown like sourdough loaf sometime this week. Oh, man, I love sourdough. Sourdough is so damn tasty. I am seeing who is on right now on Twitch, just so we know who to potentially visit. We've got the eggs, and Mittens isn't home yet. Let me make sure Mittens hasn't messaged me. So we got no one that we want to raid in. Ooh, Mittens sent a message. Oh, Mittens will be home, and will be home at 6:30 or 6:45. So yes, we are totally doing mayonnaise. We need a horn for that. Alright, that's starting to look a little golden. We got some browning right there. We're going to add in a tablespoon of our cider vinegar and all our tomatoes, and we're going to cut the heat. Let's make sure we can get a nice view of that. And then all our tomatoes. Because the tomatoes are going to help dump a lot of cold or soak up heat in the system to prevent anything from browning too much. Tomatoes with a hit of acid is just such a good combination no matter what. We're going to cap that. All right, back to here. Ah. All right. Adds so part of sourdough is typical for our bread in Germany. Yeah, so I started doing sourdough breads before my kid was born. My kid is 5 now. But I did it very intermittently. I really got into it when I was home taking care of the kid, and I would bake 2 loaves of sourdough, sometimes 3 a week, and I loved it. So, and I started learning more. So you're right, like a lot of places, some sourdough is a requirement. I really enjoy now doing hybrid doughs, where I do a portion of sourdough, but then I also use a little bit of commercial yeast just to boost it up. So I get all the flavor of the sourdough, but it doesn't take as long because I'm using commercial yeast to give that last bit of oomph. You did what with whom for how many Skittles? Dudes, only the lime Skittles, first of all. Not green apple, none of that bullshit. Hey, Burnsy, how you doing, my friend? You posted that rock singer the other day, didn't you? The goth rock singer? That looks so cool. Again, if you guys like mini painting or Gundams, give Burnsy some love. Burnsy is a great human being in general, as all of you are, and fun to talk to. Fun down, just. The red Skittles are pretty damn good, but the lime Skittles, so good. So Burnsy, I have a dilemma insofar as I've prepped our bread, I have prepped our sauce, I have prepped our nudie, and I'll actually pull those out so you can see them. We have let's say 30 minutes before, at best, before Mittens gets home. And I'll say I've got at least 15 minutes after Mittens gets home before dinner has to be ready. So we've got our nudie, little gnocchi-like ricotta dumplings that are divine. Like seriously, it's amazing how good these are. When I asked Mittens, I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about doing nudie for dinner on Friday. This is how good. She's like, why don't you do them more often? I'm like, well, because they take some time. And but I'm thinking to myself, like, why don't I do these more often? These are freaking fantastic. Yeah. So good. So yeah, we're gonna do some. We're gonna make mayo. It's gonna be a very rich mayo because we have 3 egg yolks to work with. Usually, 1 egg yolk is enough to work with 1 cup of. Oopsies. 1 egg yolk is enough to work with 1 cup of oil. We're gonna do 3 for 2. So 3 egg yolks for 2 cups of oil, because that's what we have, and that's what's going to fit the container I have. And we'll also, again, we'll do chipotle. Let's do a chipotle mayo, because I love that. Ooh, we could do a Kewpie mayo also, like a Japanese, like slightly umami, slightly ooh. Damn it, I don't know what to do. Hey, Absolute, thank you very much. Again, I've never had these authentically, so it's just based on like what I understand that the food should be, but I love them. What do you guys think? Should we do like a Japanese Kewpie mayonnaise with some additional like handashi and maybe a little fish sauce? Or should we do like a mayonnaise with chipotle peppers, pureed chipotle peppers? I'm thinking the Kewpie mayonnaise. I think the Kewpie mayo would have would be a little more utilitarian, and I could use it in more things. Ooh, I'm liking this. All right. Unless anyone really thinks hard about chipotle mayo, and let your voice be said now, I'm thinking the Kewpie, like a sweet Kewpie would be a good idea, because we could add a little handashi, a little bit of sugar, like, yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let me get a blender, a bottle for our blender or a container. I'm going to give this a quick rinse. Garlic. Probably 3 cloves of garlic. 1 per egg yolk. We want Kewpie to be a little more neutral. Let's do 2. 2 good-sized cloves. 2 teaspoons, 2 to 3 teaspoons of Dijon moutarde mustard. Oh, I like this. We're doing like mad science. So that is not going to be enough. So we're going to get some whole grain mustard to amp it up. Ooh, that's mustardy. So I'm going to get a little scoop of a whole grain Dijon that I have. Because everyone carries multiple Dijon mustards, of course, right? So a little scoop of Dijon. This is whole seed Dijon. One's not better than the other. I like them both for different purposes. So we've got two teaspoons, more or less, of mustard. We're going to grate in, or at least dice in, 2 cloves of garlic. We'll put in some lemon zest and a little lemon juice. I like that over vinegar. So I think the lemon provides a little more complexity to it. And I am slicing them as opposed to smashing them because the blender is going to take care of pulverizing them, and I want to make sure they're in an acid-rich environment to get a bunch of the lemon, onion garlic flavor without it being too harsh. I want to minimize the raw oniony heat, mustardy heat out of this. So as long as it's well covered and it's in that Dijon has vinegar in it, I'm okay. Oh my! How are you doing, B? This is going to be good. B, do you have any house guests right now, perchance? Any awesome people that we can say hello to? Microplane. Ah, I gotta rinse it, son of a bitch. I certainly do. We are thriving, kinda. Clev! So, first of all, I don't know if Marcus is hanging out, so I can't shout out Exotic or Clever Girl. Either way, Clev, if you're watching, Marcus, B, Vasey, when Vasey arrives. Who else is coming? I know those are the 3. There's one other person coming, right? Vasey and who else? Who else was coming for the exotic weekend? Yeah, I'm envious. Can't really pop away from Mittens and the kiddo that easily. We got Pickle. We got Amber. Laughter was on for a while, and so was Coldy. It was fun. It was so good. Just be able to talk to friends. Oh, makes me happy. It really does. So we're gonna add about a half a lemon worth of zest, and then we'll add about a half lemon worth of juice. And that acid is really gonna help tame a lot of the garlic bite, as well as help provide balance. So again, we're gonna do QP style. slice in half. Get a small strainer, pour it over there. So there is juice left over in this. I'm not going to go too hard on it because I don't want to overwhelm it. I've realized a couple times, like, I use some nice lemons and limes. Some recipes, the citrus just overpowers whatever the heck I'm trying to make. So I'm trying to be a little more cautious. We can always add in more. Amber, mayo always has some kind of balancing acid. Mass market mayo is usually just white vinegar, cheap white vinegar. Lemon provides a little more freshness to it, a little more vibrancy, and with QP in particular, just really helps it pop. But it is a personal preference. You don't need it. I like it. I think it adds a very pleasant flavor. But it is not a must-do. So I'm going to get 2 cups of oil. I'll be right back. And then we'll start blending this. So here is our oil. Boop, 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 boop. All right, 2 cups. Hey, it's Marcus. Are you done ordering cards for your Dick, and can we ship? Ship away, my friend. Even if new stuff's been added, I am content with my deck where it is, and I'm going to go the jank route. I'm not going the good route. I'm going the jank route. I want to see what can be done with this, my man. Amber, I've done it a bunch of times. I failed a bunch of times because I was too aggressive with it, until I just realized to slow down, and the results are so good. And, by the way, Marcus, exotic, heart, pickle, heart, amaze, heart, gamer, heart. Gamer and I shared a bed, you know. At HomebrewCon a bunch of years ago. All right, let's get these eggs in here, and then we'll slowly start blending. Just plop. I know we talked about it on stream. I talked about it a couple times. I am pretty much good to go, as far as I know, with going to PAX Unplugged with the kiddo at minimum on their Sunday event. And I'm looking to do their Friday, Saturday without the kiddo. So I think I said before, like, anyone else who's doing PAX Unplugged, let me know. I was willing to get an Airbnb and just like host a bunch of people and like cook. Not enough people are going, it looks like, of these communities, which is perfectly fine. I mean, it's a big trip. So I might just take the train in like each day. I live close enough to just train back and forth. But I will be attending PAX Unplugged at minimum with the kiddo on Sunday. Alrighty, so what we're going to do now is we have our immersion blender. You guys can see, and there's those egg yolks and all the other goodness. So first we're going to blend this up. It gets a little foamy, it gets a little, you know, little zhuzh to it. We are now going to add in some handashi, and we're going to add in a little bit of sugar. We're going to add more of this based on final taste. I just want to get a little bit of salt. Actually, let's just do the handashi initially, which helps with some salt. It helps to like denature some of the proteins. So the trick to doing homemade mayonnaise is while running, we just put a little bit of oil in, super tiny amount. Lift it up and incorporate that bit of oil. Already you can see it thicken a little bit. And again, a little splash. Even turn the immersion blender to like grab a little bit and blend it on in. The slower you go, the better off you'll be. Another little splash. And as you add more, you can increase the amount you add. You add too much at once, you break it. You put too much oil in at once, it can't coat it, it can't like subdivide it well, and you just end up with a mess. And once you hit a certain point, you can actually just flood the top of it with oil and just let it naturally get pulled down. This is not a super powerful immersion blender. It's a good one, a KitchenAid, but it's not a super powerful one. A powerful one would actually like pull down. This just does fine. So let's get a beer. You know what? I'm going to put our water into our Dutch oven. Because I think I want a little more water in here. It's not bad. But I'm going to turn the heat on low, just so we can have our water be like ready to go when Mittens steps through that door. I'm going to fill this up with another like 2 quarts of water. I'll boil that. I'll add half, and then we'll salt our water, and then we'll be ready to rock. It does take a minute to fill. There is that. I'll wait till we got 1 liter. I'll call it there. Alrighty. So let's add a little more oil and keep on going. Amber, I will happily show you my bread. Once it's done churning, we will fold it into a loaf pan. I'll put it into the fridge to do a slow rise overnight. That forces the yeast to slow down and makes it a lot more flavorful. And then I'll bake it like tomorrow after my 6-mile trail run. Ooh, that's gonna suck a bag of dicks. I'm looking forward to running with my friend. I am not looking forward to running. But we'll get you the goods, Amber. Because, of course, you are the best. Alrighty. Let's keep on mayonnaising it up. I'm gonna start that in. I'm now like tilting it a bit. I'm giving it a quick little whirl to make sure everything's like well, like gone. But I'm gonna tilt it a bit because it's easy for me to incorporate a little bit at a time. The key bit is I'm keeping it below the top to minimize how much oil is being incorporated, like blended in at once. Oh, thank you, Amber. And there's the beep saying our bread is done. So when we finish up this, next up, like bread. So I don't know if you can see, there's a little bit of oil on top, but the idea is to slowly incorporate the oil until it loses that like way too shiny shine. Oh yeah. Now we're hitting that point where we can start being a little more aggressive with our additions because it's already on like a good emulsified pace. I'm still cautious. I'm still going slower than I need to because I've had it break because I was too aggressive. But that is looking so damn good. Quick beer break. And it looks like Mittens is home. 10 minutes earlier than expected, but we got the water going, so we don't care. Alright, so we can do another little bit of mayo or a little... So we're about halfway done adding. We can probably increase the amounts a bit. And I like being cautious. It's making very dirty sounds. I acknowledge that. Alright, so then we just gotta finish this up and then Mittens gets home, and start the nudie. I'm also watching my viewers drop, and I think it's hilarious, probably because of the noise, but no, we're just about done. Maybe another 3/4 of a cup. So I'm going to add a larger amount now. Hi, kiddo. Yes, little one. Cool. Is that the type that you like?
Bubblegum.
Bubblegum. Very cool, little one.
It's the same flavor as my toothpaste.
It's the same flavor as your toothpaste. You're right.
Yeah, and we got it from Target.
Cool.
But I have.
Amber, you're right. You do hear, kiddo.
Oh wait, I have to finish my uniform.
If you would like to, it's dry now that you can finish painting.
Yep.
Now you can do the sparkles, kiddo. So we're going to add this oil in 2 batches, then we're done. Homemade mayo. Glitter. Chrome a little bit earlier. It's awesome.
We just ran over to Target.
You mean Target?
Yes. That. There was a like buy 4 of these items in this personal care category and get a $5 gift card.
Awesome.
And so she's been wanting mouthwash, so I got her some bubblegum mouthwash.
No, I wouldn't want. I was not asking for math.
You keep wanting to swish and spit, like Sophia does.
Sounds good.
And also the deodorant that we used.
Awesome.
So,
All right. I have all the nudie made. I'm getting the
Sophia
water.
first.
I'm getting the water up to temp, and then we will. I'll finish up. All right, everyone. Let's finish up our mayo. We're just about done. Let's taste it and do any adjustments. We will need some sugar. We may need some more salt. We may need a little more handashi, especially while our water is getting up to temperature to do our nudie. So that's rich. That's very rich. It needs salt and it needs sugar. Probably needs more oil, frankly, to lighten it up, which sounds weird. Gonna add some handashi. We're gonna add some sugar. Again, it's Kewpie is supposed to be on the thicker side, so I'm not opposed to it. But let's see how these seasonings go. Let's also add a little bit of fish sauce, and I think a little bit of liquid will help to also kind of like bring everything together. So a little bit of fish sauce. And we'll actually polish off this bottle. Hi, kiddo. Let's see how that is. we'll finish off the fish sauce in there. Maybe even a little more oil, but I think we're doing well on the seasoning side.
I'm just gonna get some Tylenol.
Of course. Alright, let's see how our oil runs. Switch. You're done, kiddo?
It's beautiful, hon.
Nice job, little one. You did a wonderful job. How do you think about it? What do you think about it?
You like it?
Good. Very nice, little one. Little one finished doing their unicorn. All right, let's rinse this. Maybe a little more lemon. That's the one.
I mean, Mommy.
Yes.
Where's my mouse?
It's up in the bathroom. You can use it after dinner. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay.
A little more lemon. Not much, but like a little more lemon will help lighten it up a little because it is heavy right now with the amount of oil, which is to be expected, of course, but it's like for homemade mayo. Let's add just a little bit more lemon to help brighten it up. And I think we're done. It's pretty tasty. Maybe a little more handashi, not much. And we're not going to know until tomorrow. And then we'll let's get our nudie cooking.
Oh, as a heads up, somebody requested onigiri for lunch tomorrow.
Okay.
And also making rice pudding.
We'll need to buy some things for rice pudding, but I'm happy to do that as well. So there is our homemade mayonnaise. We're done.
Mama.
Again, I think I'll maybe add a little more oil. But I want to pivot to our nudie. We have a nice pot of water boiling. We're going to add some salt. We do want this salty water. We'll see how that goes, and if we need to add more salt, we can. We can't take salt away. We can add water, but we can't take the salt away per se.
There are.
Nice little splash of oil in there. Hey, laughter. Yeah, we made some mayo. Look at that. We're still finalizing, like the incorporation. I added a little more oil. So again, we went with like a QP style, so like a very thick mayonnaise, as opposed to like a thinner chipotle mayo. But it's good. Yes, don't worry about it. That's a question best left unasked. All right, so let's we're gonna do the we're gonna add transfer all the nudie to the water, and it's gonna take 5 minutes to cook. Starting timer once water has gotten to a simmer. And then we're gonna get our, take about 5 minutes, then we'll also heat up our sauce at the same time. So, I think we're about like a couple minutes out. Let's get this cooking. We have mayo, we have the nudie, and that sums it up. Like, I'm pretty happy with this, everyone. Also, yes, B? You're welcome.
That was gross.
Thank you, dear. Alright, let's add our nudie. It's going to be about 5 minutes for these to cook. So again, I'm going to switch our camera over to our stove. Slurp indeed.
Or do you want to search? To go up one? Yeah. Now, what do you think Sophia starts with? Kind of looks like a snake. So you, yeah. Sophia starts.
Alright. Once that hits a simmer, it'll be 5 minutes away. Let's give this a taste.
S, so you use the X button to select it. O, so,
A little more sugar. The salt is good. The umami is good. A little bit of sugar, a little bit of oil.
close. Use the square button to go back.
This is good. This is, again, laughter, excellent choice. Again, this doing mayo with what we had.
Cup, so that's a Q, but
Yes, B, those are the nudie. So those are the little like dumplings we made earlier with ricotta. That's all they are. With ricotta and spinach. Ricotta, spinach, and flour. And some Parmesan. And they are delicious. All right, everybody.
Well, now we can walk. We will.
No one expects you to cut. Ooh, you doing some MTG like big brain moves, Burnsy? Laughter. I'll be sure to get a photo of the result.
are you sure it wasn't on Disney this morning?
That's good, Burnsy. So I'm gonna keep the heat up on our tomatoes.
I am.
Once that gets to a simmer, we'll start a 5-minute timer, and we're done with the sauce too right here. So we're good friends. Let's see if anyone's streaming that we want to hop into and visit. No one offhand. There's Day 9, who is a big streamer, does not need our attention. There's Will Hall Experience, who is AFK right now, so doesn't need our attention. let's see who's cooking. I normally don't do a random like hop in, but we're gonna end now, so that way we've got food ready to go.
Are we doing picnic dinner or are we doing table dinner?
I would prefer to do table dinner, but I'm not opposed to picnic if that's what you're in the mood for.
I'm just looking at the table and it's a little intense.
It is. What's your thought?
Picnic movie dinner.
Okay,
Are you okay with picnic movie dinner?
I am.
Okay.
In all honesty, I'll probably be in here cleaning during it, but I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Use cut down a smaller creature. They were trying to use March of the Wretched on. Ooh, yeah. Good call, Bernsey. So we are going to end soon. Again, I'm going to find a smaller streamer to raid into. I'm not saying, again, I'm happy with people here. You know what? This person's name is Purple Unicorn Dreams. That's hilarious. I think the kiddo would appreciate that as well. So we're going to hop into Purple Unicorn Dreams.
Have you ever been into Purple Unicorn Dreams?
I have not. They have not been into me. I have not been into them. They look like a new streamer, so let's be good to good people. Does that sound, if that sounds good to everyone, Alexa, set a timer for 4 minutes.
4 minutes, starting now.
So the fact that these are starting to float indicates that they are getting close to being done. So when the timer goes off, we'll pull them. We as a family will eat. Let's go right into Purple Unicorn Dreams and see what they have to do. So I'm going to pop my volume off here and switch it over.
Daddy?
Yes,
we are doing picnic dinner.
Yes, we are.
Daddy, are you also going to do the picnic?
I am. I'm going to do a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to do picnic dinner.
It's the little things in life.
It is. All right, so let's go right over to Purple Unicorn Dreams. Everyone, be good. Ask questions. I'll get a photo on later.
How big or should this be boiling?
Reasonably. All right, everyone. Be good. Let's start our raid. Let's give some love and again help bring people up. Take care, everybody.